As a student, are you protected by constitutional rights in school? Today, we're going to look at two U.S. Supreme Court cases that address the civil liberties of students in schools. In 1969, a group of high school students, including Mary Beth Tinker and her brother John, wore armbands to school to protest the Vietnam War. The students were asked to remove the armbands, but they refused and were suspended for their actions. The Tinkers used the First Amendment for their defense. What right did they focus on? If you said freedom of speech, you are correct. The Tinkers sued the school, and the case went to the U.S. Supreme Court. In a 7-2 decision, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Tinkers, stating that students do not shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate. But wait, not so fast. There are limits to First Amendment rights in schools. Let's take a look at another court case to find out more. Nearly 20 years later, The Spectrum, a high school newspaper, made headlines when the principal decided that articles on teen pregnancy and divorce were inappropriate. The principal decided to remove the articles from the paper, which upset Kathy Kuhlmeier and the other students. Like the Tinkers, they believed that their First Amendment rights had been violated. Kuhlmeier and Tinker both used the First Amendment in their defense. What right do you think Kuhlmeier's case focused on? If you said freedom of the press, you're correct. The case eventually made it to the U.S. Supreme Court. In a 5-3 decision, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the school district. The school district did not violate the First Amendment. Educators do not offend the First Amendment by exercising editorial control over student speech in school-sponsored activities. So before we go, are students protected by constitutional rights in schools? Of course. But remember that schools also have the authority to limit those rights.